have a lot of bam bam thank you ma'am, right?
Yeah.
So marriage is like any
Yeah.
other job, and
Mm-hmm.
you will enjoy it if you like the boss, right? And that friend
Yes.
ends up chatting more than your girl, then you're like, bitch, like what are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes.
Okay.
And
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Project Random. I'm your co-host Mala. I've got Ruki on the other side. Yeah, so it's a podcast where not random, but two friends talk about random shit. And if that's your thing, do stick around. If not, stick around regardless. Yeah. So Ruki, what do we have? What do we have planned today?
hi. So today we're gonna talk about something serious. So it's about
Oh,
relationships, like
whoa.
relationships
Okay.
and what we go through and what we've been. But before we start, we would like to give a disclaimer that we are not relationship gurus or
Oh,
experts.
100%, 100%.
Yes.
We're not here to give anyone any advice.
Yes, I am
We've
single.
I'm married. We've
Yes.
had our fair
So
share of fuck ups in life.
yes, yes.
So if anyone goes through the same thing, we just want to share what we went through.
Mm,
Things we could have done differently.
mm,
But in hindsight, we both are in a good place. But we
yes.
just wanted to share the stories and see how you guys are feeling. And if there's anything you can take, please do. But yeah, not definitely not relationship advices. Yeah, please
Yeah.
don't listen to us. We
Yes,
just want to
100%.
share the stories. That's it.
Yes. Okay. So before we talk about uh, our relationships, probably it's better we have some guidelines where we don't
Oh yeah,
uh we
set some
don't
guidelines.
set some guidelines where we don't open the names of our relationships or something
Oh
like that.
yeah, definitely
Yes.
not. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no names.
Yes. No
Nothing
names.
too specific. Where, when.
Yes.
Obviously, like we don't want to go to court. We don't want to get
Oh,
sued.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially you are married, so yeah,
Yeah.
you
No.
need to
Hell
be a bit
no.
more
No.
careful.
I've got enough. I've got enough problems.
Yes, yes,
I don't
yeah.
wanna. I don't wanna get sued. But
Mm,
this is our fifth episode. Yeah. And
yeah.
relationships, man. That's a
Mm,
heavy topic.
yeah,
I
true.
feel like I need like a gin and tonic or something else. JD with Coke
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, that'll be good to
yeah.
have this talk. Yeah. All right. So, okay, so let's start by saying, okay, so now you're married, obviously. So,
Hmm.
how's
Hmm.
how's your married life compared to single life
Um.
before?
Okay. So
Is there a
honestly,
difference?
it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, it's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So far, maybe it's still the honeymoon phase, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it's really good. It's wonderful. Feel like I found like a really good companion
Mm-hmm.
to spend the rest of my life with. Yeah, but everyone asked me this question, but nothing's changed lifestyle wise, like in the sense I do the same thing. We've lived before we got married, we've lived together for a while, so we kind of know each other's routines, we kind of know each other very well.
Yeah.
Before we went ahead and got married, we were together for 2 years before we got married,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
we kind of knew each other very well. But yeah, like nothing's changed a lot, but it's official now, so
Yeah.
obviously there's other responsibilities you
Yeah.
have to do, like talking to in-laws,
Mm-hmm.
and little things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
mostly
really good.
like it's mostly it feels like you just take on more responsibilities once you get married.
Y- yeah, it's and also
Yeah.
you just have to admit that you are wrong in all the
Oh yeah.
discussions, so you just
Uh-huh.
basically start saying sorry in every case, so that
Yes.
you get used to it. It's like
Yeah.
any other job, so marriage is like any
Yeah.
other job, and
Mm-hmm.
you will enjoy it if you like the boss, right? So something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
yeah, a lot hasn't changed for me personally.
mm-hmm.
We live in the same place. We pretty much have the same thing, except we wear a ring now. That's all. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Apart from
Yeah.
that, neither of us have cosmetically changed, anything. We haven't.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
true. Yeah.
but yeah, it's an interesting phase. Everyone, like, how in Lanka, like, getting married is a
Mm,
big thing, right? Like, because you
yeah.
throw huge ass party, you spend, shit ton of money, you invite everyone,
Oh,
you
yeah.
I mean, you invite people you don't even like, just to show off that, oh, my son or the daughter is getting married, so
Mm,
come on, have some food with us. And these people you're not gonna even meet for the rest of your
yeah.
life.
You don't
You know what I
even
mean?
know some of them. You don't even know some of them. And like I've been to like some of the weddings where the person who's getting married, he only gets two tables to fill it up, and the rest 10 of the tables are like your parents,
Yeah.
some neighbor who they had stayed in 1995 that you have no idea who they were. Like,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I
it's
totally,
crazy.
totally,
Yeah,
totally agree. So,
yeah,
in a way, I feel me and my wife, we are kind of lucky to have had our wedding here in Sydney,
yeah,
because we could have, I mean, we did avoid everything, all the
yeah.
politics, all that family drama, because end
Mm,
of the day, like, we spend our money on the wedding, so I think we get a say on who we invite, and
yeah.
who we spend that day with. So
Mm,
we avoided all that, and the main reason for having the wedding here was because of
yeah,
COVID. We did actually plan a
sure.
wedding in Singapore, but then we realized it's very difficult to plan something being away from the
Mm,
country, not being able to step in and speak to wedding planners. We did even
yeah,
actually have a Zoom call with one of the wedding planners in Singapore, and we really
yeah.
love them. Their style of um, decoration,
Mm,
and the menu, everything they did, all the sample weddings they did, I mean, the sample
mm,
photos we saw, um, we absolutely love them.
mm.
But it was just so unfortunate that we couldn't go to Singapore just to finalize things.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, so we decided, then we had to postpone. Then we thought, okay, 2021 we might be able to travel, so then we'll do it in 2022 January. No, we couldn't. So we
Yeah,
decided,
yeah,
fuck it, let's just do it
yeah,
here.
yeah.
And but it was beautiful. I mean, you you
Oh
you
yeah,
you came to the wedding.
it was one of the most beautiful wedding I've been to. It's simple, elegant, and you knew everyone who were there, and
Yeah,
like it's very personal, and like it was really really fun, and it is what you actually call like a really good wedding, because like you knew everyone over there personally, and
exactly,
like you had a
exactly.
connection with them, and everyone gave their blessings towards you, and the wedding was really good. The planning, and it was really the person who did the arts over there, it was like really
Yeah,
nice,
it was pretty
the
cool, right?
table
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
did well. Bhavani, she's the one who organized everything. I mean, I pretty much
yeah,
showed up. That's
mm,
that's all I did. But she
yeah,
she organized everything. And I did see some of their work in
hmm,
pictures. But then when you really see it on your wedding day, the setup
yeah,
of your wedding, because we had like a picnic style outdoor wedding.
yeah,
It was amazing, and they did a really good
yeah,
job. I was like, damn, this is like
yeah,
fucking amazing.
true.
But yeah, it was good. So that way,
Yeah,
we avoided all that. We saved like one third. I think we spent only like one third the budget. So it was
yeah,
very
for
good.
sure. Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
so financially, it was good as well. And
yeah,
yeah, we're happy. I don't think we're gonna do another one when we go back to Singapore or Sri Lanka. We're not gonna do another
mm,
traditional one or
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Maybe
true,
if
true.
we have, like the 10-year anniversary or somewhere. You know how people like get sort of
Yeah,
like remarried, not remarried, they do sort of like another, like relive that moment again
mm-hmm.
on their
Yeah,
like 10th
yeah, they do
anniversary or
that.
25th anniversary. We might do something
Mm-hmm.
like that down the line, but
Ah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, because I miss those traditional stuff the Tamil people do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I
true.
miss that
Yeah,
shit. So
yeah,
but anyways, yeah, so bottom line, nothing's changed.
Changed.
But it's
Yeah.
good that I got married because it's official, and
Mm-hmm.
and don't have to sort of like you know how people label relationships. So we didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
do that. So it's done now. And
Yeah.
both of
True.
us, I mean, we both wanted the same thing, so it wasn't
Mm.
one-sided or anything. And
Mm-hmm.
all the decisions, it was really good because all the decisions were just me and her, between me
Yeah.
and her. So yeah, I'm glad we did it here. I'm glad
Mm.
it was just between us. All the decisions, 100% we made the decisions. And yeah, we had all the friends we wanted to have there spend
Mm.
that day with us. Yeah, good, good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. All right. So the next question that so now we talked about marriage. Now let's talk about like relationships that we had before. Uh,
Wow.
so
How
so
many have you
everyone
had?
says
How many have you
okay,
had?
like serious relationships, is
Yeah,
it?
serious, of course. Yeah.
Serious relationships. One, two, three,
Whoa.
four, four
Okay, that's
maybe.
good.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah,
bad. That's
yeah,
not bad.
yeah, yeah.
Um, how many
Well,
unofficial ones?
oh, I'm not gonna disclose that disclose that number. Uh,
There were a lot of bam bam. Thank you, ma'am. Right?
yes, yes. There's a lot of if only if you go to it only stays in Kuching. Whatever happened in Malaysia stays in Malaysia. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. So
I had I've had three, including my wife. So I had
okay,
two, and then
hmm
I met Bhavani. So
yeah,
yeah,
true,
just three.
yeah,
But yeah, of course, just like you, I've had side hustles,
yeah,
but nothing lasted more than like a couple of months. So
yeah,
yeah,
true, true.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have another question. So
Mm,
this is something personal for me. Okay. So
okay.
for me, it always goes back to your first love, right? Like the first time you were in a relationship. That's like the best
Yeah.
relationship ever. I know you didn't have sex, so you couldn't do anything like that. But like
Mm,
I didn't either. But like the first love, probably we just held hands or something like that.
that's
Like we
it.
didn't even kiss.
That was a
Yeah,
big thing, right? Holding
yeah, that
hands.
was like a big thing, like holding hands. I can still remember like holding hands or something like that in
Yeah,
school
yeah.
and things like that. So those like do you have that something like that, like where your
Oh
first love
yeah,
is
so many, so many. So
always like
just
the
yeah, look, just like you, I
yeah,
went to a mixed school.
yeah,
And yeah, obviously I met the first person, the first relationship there. So
mm-hmm,
yeah, it was very childish. I was what,
yeah,
maybe I was in, I don't know, maybe I was in grade 8. I want to say grade 8.
mm-hmm,
So I was very young, right? Like really, really young.
yeah,
And
mm-hmm,
so used to hang around their class. Just
uh-huh.
it's mainly eye contact, right? Like it's mainly eye contact back in the day.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the big
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So basically making eye contact, and then yeah, and then finally getting to that moment of um,
mm-hmm,
actually asking that person out. It's
yeah,
very
true,
terrifying because you're scared of a no, you're
yeah,
scared of a
yeah,
rejection, right? Because back in
yes,
the day, you
yeah,
just not you also had to maintain your reputation with your friends,
yeah,
because
friends,
if
yeah,
you like someone and among friends, you want to show off that, oh, I got the
mm,
girl. That was a big thing,
yeah,
right? Like, oh,
yeah,
like she said
yeah,
yes to me and no to everyone else.
yeah, yeah,
um but yeah, it was really really naive, like very childish stuff. I
mm-hmm,
used to I remember during interval we used to meet at the playground,
mm-hmm,
and she used to bring this chocolate cake
mm-hmm,
from the canteen.
uh-huh,
And we used to share that, so that was like a thing.
yeah,
um but yeah, but it's really annoying, right? Like sometimes maybe you've had this
yeah,
experience where she brings, when she's like really shy or during the
yeah,
first few meets, she brings
mm.
another friend with her.
Oh yes,
uh,
yes, yes. They'll bring
and
a
I'm
friend with
like,
them all the time.
and
Yeah. So
that
sometimes
friend,
I, yeah,
yeah, and that friend
yeah,
ends up chatting more than your girl. then you're like, bitch, like, what are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah, right?
yes,
Like,
I've had like a perfect incident for you, bro. Like, okay, so
mm,
I was dating this first relationship with this girl, so in school, so like her best friend was there as well, and her best friend's brother was in the same batch as me. Okay,
okay,
so so me and this girl used to like text and talk in the phone and everything, and but it by the end it ended up her friend and me, we used to talk more than me and my girlfriend at that time, but it was like purely friendship, right?
friendship,
but
yeah.
then but then like Angelo, our friend, he was also in my batch, so he got to know this, and he riled up that brother of him, saying,
No
bro,
way.
I think he's hitting on I think he's hitting on your sister as well.
No
And then
way.
yeah, and then he used to be like really upset about it. But then like after
Oh,
that,
gee.
it's all, we're all friends now, so it's good. Yeah,
Yeah. Fuck
yeah,
you, Angie. Fuck you for doing that.
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. But
yeah,
also
but
in
yeah.
in school time, the best part was using that the Nokia phone. You could close your eyes and text messages,
Bruh,
bro.
you would
Not
just
like
text. I had the phone in my pocket and I could still text.
yeah, yes,
Like you would
yes,
know how the key travel that would be in your
yeah.
muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, it's amazing how you could just back in
Yeah.
the day it was all about texting.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I used to text a
If
lot. And I mean,
yeah.
the girl I went out with, she had a phone as well. So we barely,
Mm,
I mean, we do meet in the school, and that's pretty much it. Like we don't meet
mm,
outside the school. Once you go back home, that's it. Like I don't go anywhere, and
mm,
obviously she doesn't go anywhere either. That's one thing that's so different, like culture
mm.
wise, to
Yeah.
kids in
To
Australia.
current.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, they pretty much go out and it's not a big deal, and they can openly tell their parents, like,
Yeah.
look, I've
They
got
have
a
a
girlfriend,
girlfriend.
and
Yeah.
they're cool about it, because
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
that's how they've grown up. And
Mm.
they don't hide anything.
Yeah. True.
So which is quite good. I like it, because the more
Mm.
you hide, you feel like you're becoming like you're distancing yourself with your parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're like,
You
I
try
mean,
to
obviously,
hide it, and then yeah, you try to hide it from your parents, and then whenever you get a chance, you try to take more advantage of it, and then
yeah, correct,
then you
correct.
end up pregnant, or like things like that.
Exactly,
So yeah.
exactly.
So
So
over here they give the freedom. Here they give the freedom. So they also make sure that they have like a equal mutual respect towards
yeah,
the parents and
and
the
correct.
kids. Yeah.
And kids
Mm.
don't exploit that freedom, so
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
don't just disrespect the parents for giving that freedom,
Mm.
and do something else, or do bring any harm to themselves or to the family.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, I like that. And the culture is quite open. It'll take a long
Mm.
time for Sri Lanka to change.
Change.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, everyone, I mean, we just have to just live with it. But yeah,
Mm.
so I was closer to parents that way. You can
Yeah.
just
True.
tell them,
Mm.
oh, we are going out, and something like that.
Mm.
But anyways, coming back to the relationship. So um so you know how when you are like 15 or 16, you
Mm-hmm.
like, for me, I think it felt like a bit of a one-sided relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because I think like I wanted everything like in the relationship to be how I want things to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize it because you're
Yeah.
quite young, and like I wasn't matured enough to understand that, and what harm it caused to the other party.
Yeah.
And there was no reasoning, there was no sort of like, it was just like, I mean, obviously there's moments where we both agree, but most of the time it's my word against hers, and
Mm.
she would just
Yeah.
follow whatever I say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of led me to not understanding her
Mm.
as a person. And yeah, obviously, like, we broke up. And yeah, like I didn't handle the breakup well as well. I sort of tried
Yeah.
to humiliate the other party, because
Yeah.
I was relatively popular in school, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone knew. Yeah, I mean, I was in grade 10 O level. Pretty much
Mm-hmm.
everyone knew me. And yeah, so I kind of took the breakup. I took the decision, like I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
like break up after like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like after 9 months or so, because it wasn't going well. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
going the way I want things to go, and she was
Mm-hmm.
very shy, so she wouldn't talk much. So I was
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck this. I don't want to text every day. Like if I see
Yeah.
you in school, I should be able to speak to you. And
Yeah.
she wasn't that person. But I didn't give enough time to our
Mm-hmm.
relationship to understand that.
Yeah.
And
True.
yeah, so my understanding or my perception of a relationship was different to how she felt.
She feels.
And
Yeah. True.
yeah, and I wanted her to be someone she's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is very wrong of me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but obviously we are
Yeah.
like I was really young.
Yeah.
We broke up, and then she moved on and I moved on. I moved on pretty quick. I think
Yeah.
that's what now right now I feel so bad. Maybe not
Mm-hmm.
bad, but maybe obviously
More matured. Like you understand it now. Yeah.
exactly.
Is it?
So I didn't
Yeah.
even
True.
give a I don't even think I can't even remember um like dwelling on the fact that I broke
Ah.
up. Like I just moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like yeah, maybe it wasn't the same. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel about the relationship the same way she felt about the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So
Yeah. So do you
yeah.
do you believe that like in like most of the relationship, there's always like a giver and there's always like a feeder? So it's basically it's that one person who makes the decisions and who makes the calls, and the other person who has to like kind of follow it. Like I've
Nah,
been in
that's
like
wrong.
most of my relationship. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I know I understand. Like it's like it's like it's not like that. What I'm saying is like so one person it's not the right term was settler and seeker. So one
Okay.
person has to settle for the person and the
Mm.
other person has to for them that's the best they can do, and for the
Okay.
other person it's just they settled with that person. You get what I mean?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. So seeker is the one who could find the best they can and
Mhm.
they're finding the best. Settler is the
Mm.
one who settled for the person, but that's not the best they can do. They can do
Ah, okay.
others
No,
as
no, no,
well,
no.
but
I'm
they settled
definitely
down.
the seeker. I'm definitely the
Seeker.
seeker.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't do more than Bhavani, hundred
Yeah.
percent. Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm legally obliged to say that.
Obliged to say that. Yes. Yes. So yeah, so I've been in relationship where I've been a seeker and also a settler. So most of the time it's always seeker. So where I found a girl and I've been dating and it's always so my first relationship where it was basically uh she had another boyfriend and she didn't even tell me, and
Wow.
she she was like kind of dating me on the side, and I had no clue till that other
Yeah.
boy approached me, and we had to go through so much of hassle and those school fights and all of those kind of stuff, and it riled up all my friends
Yes.
and
Good
all of
times.
that.
Good times.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
one of the
Wow.
biggest, yeah, one of the biggest fights in our school, but our school isn't really big, so it's small, yeah.
I was caused by
So
you. Oh
they was
my
caused
god.
by us, yeah.
Wow.
But then
So you were the
but
other
then
one. Like she was dating the other person, but she was
yeah,
cheating the other person with you.
yes. So they actually
Oh.
had like a small argument and they had like broken up, but that
Mm.
at the time she was just dating me, and
Mm.
then that
Okay.
guy found out and like it was a big thing.
Yeah, he
But
wanted
then
to.
I realized, yeah, but then I realized like it's not worth it. So like I had to let go, and
Mm.
it was really hard thing to do. But then
Yeah.
later
Did you
I had
cry?
trust issues. I know. Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, you did
I
cry.
had,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I had some trust issues with girls after that
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
because
no.
yeah. So then that's when the bad boy started in Malaysia.
Bad boy.
Yes, bad boy. Uh, so then in Malaysia, I had a serious relationship, but
Mm,
uh, the first one was fun because it was new and like it was like a proper adult relationship. But then
mm,
still, it was the first relationship, so and it was like a I was like a seeker because that's my first relationship, so I was like learning from everything.
mm,
And
mm,
then I had to make a lot of compromises and I spent a lot of money and
mm.
all of those kind of stuff and things like that, so I learned a lot from that as well. And then moved on to another one, which was also that was like a really good relationship, but
Yeah, I
it's just
remember
like
that one.
yeah,
I remember that
yeah,
one. That was in
yeah,
that was during uni, right?
yeah, during uni.
Yeah, I
And
think that was
yeah,
good for you because you sort of like learn a lot from her,
yeah,
like life wise. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like how to
life,
deal
yeah,
with
true.
certain
Mm,
situations in life.
mm,
Because when you're young, um, I mean, you were what 18 when you came to uni or 17 when you came to uni.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, when you get into a relationship when you're really young, it's good to get help from someone, and in any relationship you learn, right? It's a
yeah,
give
for
and
sure.
take.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. So the first relationship, so I wanted to break up way earlier, but then that was the first girl I got, and I don't want to let
Mm,
go of the girl because then I won't have
yeah,
anything else. So I
yeah,
was a bit
exactly.
afraid, and I had
Yeah,
to,
it's that
yeah,
FOMO, right? Like fear of missing
yeah,
out. Like, oh,
yeah,
what if she ends up with me? Like, oh, I'm just alone
yeah,
all by
yeah,
myself. Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of feel, yeah, I feel you, I feel you. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and that actually taught me a lot of lessons as well. And
Mm,
yeah, like it was a toxic relationship where you're like fighting all the time and like it's stressful and all
yeah.
that. So I had to stop that one by the end. And later on, I dated another person which was really good. It
Mm,
was a long distance one as well.
mm.
Long distance, but it was good. It
Wow,
went
long
well.
distance. Mm.
Yeah, but like inside Malaysia. Uh,
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
yeah, and yeah,
Did
it,
you
it
guys ever
it
meet?
was yeah. So we met in Kuching, and then
Mm.
after that she went to KL, and I was in Kuching at the time, and
Ah, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah,
All
we
right.
were dating, and um, yeah, and the thing was she's a bit older than me, and
Mm.
like she's like a proper working person at that time, and
Right.
I was in uni, so I had to learn a lot of stuff. Like I would call her all the time, but she's like, I'm working, and like she doesn't spend much time with me and all of those stuff.
Okay.
So I thought like like she's not
That's how
spending time
grown-ups
with
are.
me. Yeah, but then later on, so that's why. So it's I learned how to be in like a mature relationship after that.
Mm.
Then later on, when I started working, I got into relationship. It was a long distance as well, but then I realized I am working, and like you don't have enough time to spend doing all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
lovey-dovey stuff,
yeah. The
especially yeah,
only when you're in their shoes in your life, you
yeah,
will understand. Oh
you'll
shit,
understand.
the decision the other person made, I do
Yeah,
understand now.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
I totally get you. In each relationship you can
yeah.
learn, and in each relationship you learn about yourself as well. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, it's a total like a
Bec
total growth in yourself. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, what I can say, I mean, what I can tell everyone from my relationships is, don't be afraid um, to break up. And
Mm,
if it's not working, it's not working. It's pointless to be in a relationship where neither of you guys are happy, or if
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
one-sided, because you will
Mm-hmm.
always learn. It's like an
Yeah,
experience, right? Like it's like a job where you
yeah,
do, if you're not happy, then you just leave the job, but you have that experience
yeah,
of dealing with certain situations, dealing with certain conflicts at different times.
mm,
Yeah, you would pretty much learn from all relationships. I
yeah,
remember from
true.
the first one, I but but mine was very different because after the first relationship ended, I started going out with another girl in school, and the last 2 years of my school, I was with her.
Mm-hmm.
And but the first person, the girl I went out with, for the first time in my life, um, she came back again to my life when I started uni.
Mm-hmm.
So because the second relationship I ended after school, and then I went to Malaysia, and the first girl, so she hasn't moved on apparently, and
Yeah.
then she came back to life, and then I was like, fuck, like I'm single too, so maybe we can
Mm-hmm.
we can do something. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So when you're
Yeah. Yeah.
away and when you're like single, it feels like anything, or maybe it feels
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, so maybe I have a connection with her, maybe we can
Yeah.
restart things. But then again, it didn't work out. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
work out in the first place for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work out in like the second time for the same
Yeah.
reason.
True.
So
Mm.
I was trying to get her to do things that it wasn't in her nature, like not
Mm-hmm.
sex wise, because it was a,
Yeah.
it was a long distance, of course.
Yeah.
But I think I was looking for someone else from her,
Mm-hmm.
someone who would understand me more, who, yeah, so it was a disaster again. And
Mm.
then I realized, okay, I mean, obviously I realized a lot of things from that,
Mm-hmm.
relationship, because it was like a
Yeah.
two time, right? Because same person, but in
Mm-hmm.
school and again back in uni.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so I don't know, like I learned you gotta treat people really really
Yeah.
nicely. I
Yeah.
can't get I can't get really emotional, and I can't treat people like shit, especially when it comes to a
Yeah. True.
relationship.
Yeah.
So gotta make like rational decisions, gotta talk it
Mm.
out. And
Yeah.
if you don't
If
communicate, then that's the worst part.
Yeah, especially when you have some problems, it's better to talk it out rather than just keeping it in and just build it up, and then it's just
Mm,
like one day it'll just explode it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
always a good communication always helps, and yeah,
definitely.
also like there are people I know who are saying like you should like I know relationships are scary, but you should get into at least one or two relationship before you get married, so you know how to handle, like how to handle if you have never been in a relationship, and if you just get married straight away with the first person you find, you might not know how to handle things, like how to handle like a
Yeah.
break, like a fight, how to handle like small things, like a
Mm.
small fight would just lead up to like a divorce or something like that. so
Yeah,
so
true,
you need to
true.
you need to learn, yeah, how to balance everything out, so
Yeah,
that
and
would
also
be good.
how to
Yeah,
treat each other with
exactly.
genuine
Yeah.
honesty, with
Yeah.
compassion, and also like to look after each other, you know what I mean? Because you
Mm.
feel like a team, right? Like especially when, I mean, after I
Yeah.
got married, I felt it more, because you're just one
Yeah.
person now.
Mm.
Obviously two individual people, but
Mm. Yeah.
we work as a team, everything, like everything is like a team goal. We do have
Yeah.
like individual career goals we want to achieve, but those
Mm.
career goals would be integrated to our lives, like wherever
Yeah.
or
True.
whatever we want to do would be discussed between us, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
like a good fit for us at this stage.
Mm.
um yeah, I mean, especially after being married, those type of conversations are very crucial to have. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, okay, one thing I've learned from the two previous relationships, is even
Yeah.
if you disagree with something, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to listen and not
Yeah.
be very emotional, and cut off the
Yeah.
conversation then and there.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned as well. Like sometimes when you're with your girlfriend, like, and when she's telling you a problem she has, like they don't expect you to solve their problem. They just want you to listen sometimes. I learned that the hard way. Like sometimes they just want you to listen and like be compassionate,
Mm.
so that they feel that someone is heard, they feel heard, like that
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's something that girls actually look for, like most of the time,
yeah,
like
correct, correct.
they actually appreciate that. Yeah.
Even for
Yeah.
a man, you just want to be listened, and sometimes when you tell your problems, when you
mm,
tell someone how you feel about a certain issue,
mm-hmm.
um, that person might not be able to give you the solution, but just by
Yeah,
listening, that person might be able to um, you know you know get that stress levels down,
yeah.
and
It's like I can talk everything I feel like. So
yeah,
it's like
get
a
it all
therapy
out.
for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when
get
I
it
talk
all out.
something out, yeah, when I talk something out, I feel like okay, like I'm diffusing whatever the pressure I have inside me to tell someone, and
Hmm.
also it helps me to make a good decision quickly because like sometimes I'm like in between the lines, and sometimes when I talk it out with
Yep,
someone, then I
I
know
agree. Yeah,
okay, yeah, like these are the pros, these are the cons, and like what do you
true.
think, and like and then
Hmm.
it makes
Because
me easy to
because sometimes
yeah
sometimes when you're so stressful, the decisions are very cloudy, right? Like you're not
yeah
very clear. You're not thinking straight.
mm,
So
yeah
it's good to let it all out, and so that you
mm-hmm,
can think clearly. It's the same thing, right? Like when you're stuck in a problem, that's why people like
mm,
step out of the problem and maybe go for a walk, get have a break and come back, because you might see the problem from a different angle. It's the same thing.
yeah true
Yeah. You have to listen. I mean, like, I can't stress enough, you have to listen to your partner.
yes
I
yes
can't stress that
yeah
enough. You have to listen to her or him.
uh-huh
And it's a two-way street.
yeah
And you can't be misogynistic, and you can't have that very toxic culture in your
yeah
relationship,
true
because it'll never work. I mean, it might work, but the other person is genuinely not happy. Like in Sri Lanka, you
mm,
can find so many relationships where it's dominated by the man,
mm,
and the woman, she just keeps quiet. One problem is because she doesn't work, so she's not empowered, right? If
yeah
you work, then you're equal, because you're
yeah
both the
true
breadwinners of the family, right? So
mm,
you're bringing something to the table, and the other person can't be like, fuck off, like I'm the one who's
mm,
running the show, you just
yeah
look after the family. You can't say that.
mm,
So
yeah
if you're empowering you know your girls in Sri Lanka, you'll have less issues. I
yeah
think
true
I think everyone
and
should work like,
yeah and the girls can voice it out when they are empowered, so
yeah.
because they can make their choices by themselves. Otherwise if they're married and if they don't have a job or anything like that, they're pretty much stuck, so they can't go back to their parents house and be there, so they have to stay with their husband because they don't have a job, they don't have money, so they can't do anything. But when you are empowered, it's coming now, like nowadays I
Mm.
see a lot of girls are educated and coming up,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah
yeah, true.
mm,
But that's still limited to cities, like more
yeah
progressive cities like Kandy,
yeah
Colombo, or like big cities like Kurunagala
mm,
or Gaul. But you don't see the rest of the country changing.
changing
Yeah, I mean, girls
mm,
should work. They should be
yeah
empowered. They should be given an education, so that when
yeah
they
and
when they're
and the
married, and
yeah
also when they get married and when they go to the other like to the husband's house, she can actually stand up for herself when it
mm,
comes to an argument. Not
mm,
necessarily to say to disrespect the other person, but she can hold her own when it comes to an
mm,
argument, and you know make sense and explain her feelings, and not just
mm.
bottle everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not keeping it inside gives you a lot of trouble. Like it builds up a lot of pressure and everything.
Yeah.
And like also, it's like it's not like the modern days problem that they face. Like in the villages, they have like domestic violence. The husband would drink, come home and beat the shit out of the wife, and
Mm.
still she can't do anything. She just takes it and takes it the next day.
Just have
I
to
don't
keep
know how
quiet.
they
I mean,
can do
it's
it.
so
Yeah,
sad to see so many
yeah,
of those stories, and
yeah,
ultimately, those stories would end in a tragedy, because it
yeah.
could be the kid might grow up and
Mm,
might see all these things, and may
mm.
one day actually chop dad's head off, or kill the dad
Yeah, true.
because he's had enough. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true. Yeah, for sure. And like most of the times, their moms who get beaten up by the husbands, they don't, they can't leave the family and like run away, or like they would kill themselves, but they don't do that just because of their kids. But
Mm.
but like It's not the right thing to do. Like, you should stand up and talk back and get some help. And obviously there are places to get help and everything, and they
Yeah,
should do that.
no,
you know
yeah,
mm,
true, true, true.
mm,
And what else? What else we wanted to share? Yeah, communication is key. Respect each
mm-hmm.
other.
Yeah.
And yeah, just listen to the other person, because sometimes you're on your, like, people are so attached to mobile devices now.
Yeah.
We try to, when we're having a conversation, we try to avoid all mobile devices and have like a proper conversation.
mm, yeah.
But sometimes, like, there are lapses, right? Like sometimes you pick up the phone
mm,
while the other person is talking, which is very disrespectful as well. And I
yeah.
learned it the hard way as well. Like, it's
mm,
it's okay sometimes also to make mistakes, because
yeah.
that's how you learn.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sure.
like, just listen to the other person. I know there's a lot
mm,
of good Romeos out there. Unlike
yeah.
unlike us, we
Yeah.
did make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's good to make those mistakes, because that's what makes who I am today. That's
Yeah.
what made who I
Yeah,
am
true.
today.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I'm happy
mm,
I met those people as well earlier on in my
mm.
life. And I really don't know how they think about the relationships they had with me right now. It'd be I don't know. Have you ever wondered, like what they think about you after like 10, 15 years?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
wonder what they.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good question. It would be a good segue, because the reason I ask is, do you think it's a good idea to have your exes on your social media?
Uh, it depends on how you break up with them, and
Okay, yeah, true.
yeah, it depends. If you think like a long distance, it's not working out. Let's take a break, and if it doesn't work out, I understand. But if you cheat on you, or if you sleep with someone, or like it's like a really toxic relationship and you don't want in your life, you break up, then you don't want them in your social media. But it also depends on your life. Like, if you're single, maybe you can have them. But if you're dating, or if you're, especially if you're married,
Yeah.
it's a bit hard to keep your ex in your Facebook, because probably the other person would leave because it's a bit awkward for them.
Yeah,
But it
but my problem is seeing, let's say I haven't moved on and the other person has moved on, right? So when you
mm-hmm,
see their pictures together, like when they see the
yeah,
pictures with their new partner, I
mm,
mean, it's natural, right? Like, it's human to feel
yeah,
like, oh fuck, like, it's human to feel so angry about it,
yeah,
to
true.
feel sad about it, because you haven't moved on and you haven't met
mm,
someone, and you get hit with all these questions like, oh, what if I never get someone? um
mm,
or like, oh, did I do the right thing? Did we
mm,
was breaking up the right thing?
mm,
And then I don't know, like, would lead to making another mistake, or I don't know.
yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, my dilemma was like, oh, like, seeing the other person move on,
mm-hmm,
and seeing a picture, how would that make me feel? But
yeah,
I've never had that like situation. But I
mm,
just wanted to have your thoughts on
mm,
it, because in
yeah,
mine, I one thing. Okay, so this is another thing I've done, which I want to
mm-hmm,
tell everyone you should not do. Okay, you
mm-hmm,
should not do, because this is not how you solve problems. So how I solve problems is, if I have a big fight, I block that person on
ah,
social media and everything. That is not how you solve problems.
yes,
Okay.
yes, no, yeah.
Please don't do
I
that.
I never I've never blocked people in social media.
Yeah,
I've
I've
never
done
done
that,
that. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've done that consistently, with the relationships,
mm,
and that's wrong. And
mm,
when how I learned about this the hard way was, when Bhavani and I were going out initially back in 2018. We had a big fight, and I
mm-hmm.
blocked her, and she was like,
No.
yeah, and she was like,
Ah,
what the fuck is going on? Like, because I don't think
mm,
she's used to that, because she's more mature than me when it comes to
yeah,
relationships. So it feels like, oh, she might have expected the same, like, what the fuck is this? Like, you're acting like a child. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, then she told me this, and then I was like, oh, okay, shit. And then I asked one of my coworkers I was working with at that time, and she was a Palestinian girl, and
Mm-hmm.
she told me one thing that stuck with me. She said, Marlon, if you don't fight in a relationship, how would you know that you will fight for each other in a relationship? How
Mm.
would you know that you want each other? So
Yeah.
in a
True.
relationship, you need to fight. And you need to
Yeah. For
fight
sure.
in those relationships, you need to fight for each other. So fighting is healthy, but not physical fighting, but
Yeah.
in when you sort of have a big argument, it's okay to fight for each other, because obviously
Mm.
you both want the relationship to work. The
Mm.
underlying idea is you both want the relationship to work, and
Yeah.
you need to fight for each other. And also, one more thing I learned. So don't block, don't
Mm-hmm.
block anyone on social media. Just talk
Mm.
it out, communicate. Unlike me,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is, if you have a big fight with your partner, it's okay to be the first person and go and say sorry, even if you're
Yes.
not in the wrong. Okay, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had that big ego when I was
Yeah.
young,
Mm.
that fuck that, like
Mm.
if she wants to come and talk to me, she can do that.
Mm.
But that's not how life works. Okay,
Yeah.
if
For
you
sure.
let that happen, then each other will grow further and further apart every single day.
Mm.
Ultimately you
Mm.
will talk to each other because you live in the
Mm.
same house.
Mm.
But it's okay. Just fuck your ego when you're in a
Mm.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's hard because for especially the young generation, like the younger people, it's really hard
Mm.
because
Yeah.
I've been there. But trust me, you need to just let the ego, fly to the window,
Mm-hmm.
because it would never. Don't let your ego dictate a relationship. It's always good to go, but give it some time. Obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
1 day, and
Mm-hmm.
just go talk to the person, because that person
Yeah.
is looking for the same thing. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who talk first,
Yeah.
because you're
Because
in a
by
relationship.
the end, you guys want to be together by the end. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter who apologizes first or anything like that. It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
There's
yeah.
no
Makes
there's
sense.
no
Yeah.
shame in apologizing. There's
Mm.
no shame in saying sorry. Even look, even if you're not, even if you haven't done anything wrong, it's okay to apologize first, and
Yeah.
then because a fight takes two people.
Mm.
So it's okay to just say sorry and just talk it out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because the other person might realize certain things the other person said was hurtful to you, and then he or she might apologize, and then you are back together.
Mm.
So yeah, it's totally fine to just say sorry. And also for guys, I'm just telling this, and I'm telling this with Ruki, because um I've done this once with Ruki. So it's okay to cry,
Oh,
right?
okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's totally fucking okay to cry. Growing up, crying was never encouraged for guys in Sri Lanka. I've never seen a guy cry. I haven't seen my father cry. I haven't seen my brother cry. I haven't seen anyone cry except at fucking funerals where you're supposed to cry. But
Mm.
if you've got something emotional, like burning
Mm.
deep down, and if you need to let it out, fucking let it out. It's okay.
Mm.
It's part of the emotions you have. Being jealous is
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
why isn't crying okay? So
Yeah.
it's it's
Exactly.
it's like being happy. It's like smiling.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
crying is the opposite of like smiling. So it's okay to
Yeah.
cry. I've cried like shit ton of times with Bhavani.
Yeah.
um
Oh, really?
yeah, it's so strange. 3 years we were together, we are together. I've
Okay.
cried like 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've cried with you once, remember?
Yes. Yes. I've seen you cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then I was like, nah, it's okay. It's okay to cry, because it's
Mm.
just a part of you. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't have any issues now. I can cry. I mean, it's like letting out your emotions, right?
Yeah.
And
Crying is
you don't.
better. It's healthy. Yeah.
Hmm.
They say
And
crying is healthy as well. Yeah.
yeah, I don't feel sissy about it. I don't feel
Mm,
anything about it. Like, it's just part of me. I don't feel ashamed. And I'm not a tough guy to keep everything in.
mm.
And even tough guys do cry. Even the toughest motherfuckers, like fucking soldiers, they do
Yeah,
cry. So you're
yeah,
not tougher than a
yeah.
Navy SEAL, okay? So it's okay to cry.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
um
Okay, I have like quick questions to ask you.
all right, fire away, my friend.
Okay, so these are like good question. Maybe I'll ask you because you're married. Okay,
Okay, all right.
okay. How important do you feel sex in a relationship or in a married
Ooh.
life?
Uh yes, it's important. It's important. It's obviously it's important because you're not living with a housemate.
Mm.
You're not living
Yeah.
with a roommate. So obviously you
Mm-hmm.
need to get physical. That's another way to show compassion and how much you love each other. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say I don't know, like percentage wise, I don't know. I would give it like, I think earlier on in a marriage, maybe you would be like, I don't know, like 85, 90. And then
Yeah.
there's a gap of, I don't know, like
Uh-huh.
there's a block of years where it's not that important. But I think you should pick it up when you're getting older,
Hmm.
because you have
Yeah.
absolutely nothing else to do. So I think you should
Yeah.
pick it up when you're in your
Yeah.
50s and 60s. You should
60.
pick it up, and
Yeah.
you should go for it.
So if you have a long distance relationship, would you be okay with that if there's no sex?
Mm, yeah, I mean, yes, obviously. I mean, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't dictate. I mean, for me, I don't believe that sex should dictate a relationship when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to that situation, because you both know you're in your long distance. You're doing long distance, and if you can't wait for the other person, yeah, I mean, that means maybe the other person who wants to have sex or who's talking about it a lot, maybe that person is not for you then, because if he's not patient enough, because when you're doing long distance,
Mm-hmm.
there are
Yeah.
other things, right? Like there are other things that are more important, and other things
Yeah.
that can
True.
keep the relationship going.
Keep. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you can do phone sex.
Yeah.
There's video sex.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
Uh-huh.
you can do that. So
Okay. Uh.
wait. Did you know that Durex had made, like, they've made these underwears where you can
It
remotely control.
vibrates.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can
Yeah.
remotely control. So you can buy your
Yeah.
partner that, and you can control from the other end. And yeah, she'll have a good time. You'll have a good time.
Good.
There you go.
Which part of your body do you think is the sexiest?
Mine or hers?
Yeah, of yours.
Oh, mine. Ooh,
Mm.
I would say my shoulders. I love my shoulders. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I do. I mean, when I work out, I like working out my shoulders a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love my shoulders. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
That's a strange one. That's a really weird one.
No, because there's a lot of questions here, but I can't ask you all of them. So that's why I am um
Mm, okay.
skipping a little bit. Okay. Uh okay. Do you prefer making out,
Huh?
having sex, or cuddling throughout the night?
Ooh. Mm, Uh, I don't think there's one answer. I think it's a combination of all, right? Like you start off
Mm-hmm.
with making out, and then you do it like, what the fuck, making
Yeah.
love,
Uh-huh.
um, and then you cuddle at the end. Cuddling
Cuddle it.
also has its own fun, and it's all
Yes.
um,
And you learn a lot about cuddling in the night as you have
yeah,
long relationship, like how to
yeah,
take your hand away after a while, how to
yeah,
keep your hand
exactly.
for too
Like,
long.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not how they show in movies where they like
yeah,
go to sleep cuddling and wake up, same position. Fuck no,
yeah,
it doesn't happen.
yeah,
Because after a
yeah,
while, like, let's say you hug the person, and after a while, the other person might want to move and sleep the like in a more comfortable position, because everyone's got a
Yeah,
comfortable position they sleep in, right?
exactly. Yeah,
And
true.
yeah, for Bhavani, she's got her own position, like I've got my own. So after a while, you tend to like move to those positions. So yeah,
Mm,
it's okay I mean, it's always fun to I mean,
yeah,
cuddling should not necessarily be limited to a bed. Cuddling can be on
yeah.
the couch while you're watching
Couch.
TV.
Yeah,
We do that a lot.
yeah. True.
Wow, that's some heavy shit.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
So
think we
let's
should
wrap
wrap this
this
up?
up.
Yeah.
Yes, let's wrap it up. So, for the people who have been listening, so if you are in a relationship, say go and talk with your partner, say I love you, do something romantic,
Correct.
and listen to them, talk to them what they want to be heard or what you want to tell to them. And also, if your partner is abusing you or torturing you, or if you're having a toxic relationship, you need to stand up for yourself and break up or stop it. If you have never been in a relationship, try to get into a relationship and try it.
Yep.
And also, what else did we need to cover? Um, and
It's okay to be in a
uh,
same-sex relationship. I
oh,
just want to put it out there.
yes, it's we'll have another podcast about it. So it's okay to be any sex relationship, even a
Yep.
relationship with yourself. It's good.
It's
So
good.
it's good. So appreciate everything and love everyone and show your love to the world. Peace.
Peace.